Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. This is Mr. Shakespeare here again on the 15th of September 2022. I'm here with psychic medium and remote viewer Liz Cross. How are you doing today, Liz?
Very well, thank you. I've heard of this lady before.
Yeah, so this is actually it was on our list, but this is also one of our Discord members put it up recently, and because it's on our list, we've sort of bumped it up really. This is Janine Morageau. She's a Canadian. She's a tarot card reader. She's been reading tarot cards for a hell of a long time. She used to pretty much do I think her MO was she did a lot of personal readings for people with many repeat customers over the years, I believe. But she gave that up. I'm going to say it was, I'm not sure exactly when it was, but probably over a year ago now, where she decided to concentrate on doing readings for, on subjects, a little bit like what we do here. People could ask her to do readings on, Japan or something like that. So it's a similar process in a way. She's more recently teamed up with a guy called JC, and she's sort of his tarot reader, and she works under the umbrella of his platform a lot, but she still does her own, she still has her own YouTube channel. And yeah, okay, so that's that's what I know about her. I understand how tarot works to a point. I'm not totally au fait with it, but let's go. Let's see where it takes us. Okay, have you got a connection with her, please, Liz?
I do. She seems really friendly.
Yeah, I think she is very friendly. Yeah, she comes across.
I've never watched a video, but she seems really friendly and genuine. Like she has a very genuine purpose about herself.
Okay. She's, as I say, she's been a tarot reader now. I don't know. Well, we can ask her. How long has she been a tarot reader? I think it's a long time.
How long have you been reading tarot cards? She's like, oh, just so funny, her answer. Oh, so long. I can't even remember how long I've been doing this.
What made her stop doing the personal readings? Why did she do that?
Why did she stop doing personal readings? It was too long, too time consuming. I feel like difficult to manage. And she really enjoys just putting out videos. She enjoys that more.
Yes.
When did she stop doing the personal readings? I feel like it was a while ago now.
It wasn't that long ago, maybe a couple of years tops, something like that.
Yeah, a couple of years. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
She needed a break from the readings.
Right. You mean the personal readings?
Yes.
So I'm just looking, she's now got her own online store selling everything from silver bars to crystal candles and things like that, organite pyramids and personal birth charts. So, okay, she's made many predictions via tarot over the last couple of years. One of the ones that really stands out for me, because she's not the only one to have said this, is about Nasara and Gasara, which
I've heard of Nasara. I've never heard of Gasara.
Nasara is national, Gasara is global.
Oh, okay.
I remember on one of her videos, a while back even, that it was imminent and it was coming, but of course it hasn't happened yet. Does she still think it will?
Do you still believe sorry, what happened? Yes, she does.
So what's been the delay, does she think?
What do you think is the delay? She doesn't know. She doesn't know what the delay is. Possibly something in the universe, possibly some sort of disconnect, but she still firmly believes it's coming.
Right. What made her hook up with JC? He's another Canadian guy, by the way.
Not Jesus Christ, right?
No, no. I'm trying to think of his name. JC something. Anyway.
Let's see. I feel like it was easier to promote herself with him on board. She needed some assistance with that. And that's understandable. Listen, it's hard to do that. And it's hard to constantly promote yourself. So I feel like they offered her a lot of guidance, a lot of help. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think by her own volition, she's not that technical. So, but yeah, okay. She also has another channel called Sending Ravens, which she still does. Which she basically, that's almost like a vox pop thing that she does. How's that channel doing? Can we ask her?
I don't feel like it's doing as well as what she's doing at the moment.
No. Well, her main channel is that's the one with the, I mean, she's up to quite a lot of subscribers. Actually that is, yeah. Okay. She has made predictions to do with elections and outcomes of elections and things like that. How are they coming? I mean, are they coming out? I haven't really been following her recently, so I haven't, I can't. The Nasara Gasara one, I remember because that was a while back. But how are the other predictions coming out? Any notable successes?
Just she feels like the world is really on the verge of this massive change. I don't feel like she databases her predictions. And I understand that because I can't database all of my predictions. It's just too much. That would be a full-time job in itself. And but she just goes with the flow. She loves what she does. And she believes that, well, if it hasn't happened, it will happen. She says the tarot does not lie. So she has a lot of strong faith and belief in her tarot cards.
Okay. This is a question for you, Liz. How do you view, I mean, let's just take tarot away from Janine for a minute, but how do you view tarot as an entity? Is that something you've ever got involved in, or?
So for me personally, I don't do tarot cards. I just don't feel like they're for me. I feel like I've tried them. Don't get me wrong. I've even taken classes. The lady that taught me remote viewing, she was like, oh, we'll just do a tarot run through. And I just didn't align with them at all. There was something within me that was like, this is not for me. So I don't use tarot cards. I think that you can get some excellent readings from tarot cards. I've had a couple of excellent readings from tarot cards for sure by a very, very talented tarot card reader. And he does not read for the public. He is a personal friend of mine. And it's one of those things where I give him a reading, he gives me a reading. He's absolutely excellent. I find tarot to still be too vague. That's just my personal opinion, not knocking anybody that does it. I think, but just with my skill set, I like pinpointed information. You have to go with what works. No.
Yeah, so I think Janine's been a tarot reader for a very long time. So, you know, she's definitely honed her skills on the tarot with tarot, I believe.
Do you actually channel? I don't know if she's a medium or not. She's definitely psychic, and that's amazing. A lot of times when people are losing, when people are using tools like pendulums, tarot cards, crystals, whatever, it's because they need a tool to enhance their psychic abilities. So for me, I can just channel the answer, whatever I want. Most often tarot card readers, most often, I'm not saying all, it's not a blanket generalized statement, but most often tarot card readers are just, they use it as a tool. And it's a great tool to have for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Does she feel, based on her readings recently, does she feel, is the overall outlook positive or not?
No,
So,
she does not believe the overall outlook for the next few months is looking very positive.
right. Is that for where she lives in Canada, or Canada as an entity, or is that globally, or is that America? I mean, what can she be a bit specific, or is it just globally, or what? I mean,
North America mainly.
right. So is she grouping together the US and Canada in this one? Yeah.
Yes, yes. She feels like they're very aligned. So she believes that, her region that she reads on is North America.
Yeah. Okay. What does she think? How does she think the current Canadian government is doing then? Has she done any tarot readings on any of those, or any, the entities or anything? Or?
Loads, but she doesn't publish that.
Ah.
Okay. There's a lot of things that she just cannot publish.
Is that because she's worried about losing her YouTube channel?
That's correct. Absolutely. She has to be very cautious. Now, I feel like this is relatively new for her. This censorship, as in she's, cautious about what she puts out. Listen, you know how that goes. We
Yeah.
have to be careful of what we put out. And so there are a lot of things that she would love to put out, but she just can't do it.
Okay.
I understand that.
Yeah. Is there anything that she can share with us, or?
No.
Awesome.
She's
Right.
very sweet. I like her a lot.
Right. Okay.
That was funny. She was like, no, no, sorry, no.
Has she done any readings on Justin Trudeau?
Not lately.
Okay. Does she think he's doing a good job?
She's a bit like me, actually. It's like, well, not really, but is anyone? And that's very 3D kind of thinking. She very much is like, I go beyond that. She's looking at the bigger picture, like where we're heading as the human race, like where are we going? What changes consciousness expansion we're having to go through? She believes we're entering into a new realm of consciousness.
Right. Okay. Good. She's made crypto predictions. I know that.
I didn't
How?
know that.
Yeah, she has. Can she share any of the insights with any of her crypto predictions? For instance, Dogecoin or anything like that. You know,
She has in the past. I feel like she's moving away from that sort of stuff, though.
right. Does she still like Shiba Inu? I remember that was one of the ones she liked.
I feel like she's moved beyond that now.
Moved beyond liking cryptos.
Move beyond trying to do a crypto prediction. She's saying, I think it was something more to please the crowd as opposed to something she felt passionate about. And
Okay,
that's understandable.
What is she passionate about now?
She's telling me like governments. She's saying she's passionate about how the world is going to end up, where we're heading to. I feel like she's passionate about the environment, finding out, what's going to happen to certain areas, things like that.
Okay. So sort of more geopolitics and environment type thing, yeah?
Yeah. And she likes that stuff. That's where her strengths really, she enjoys that. You have to do what you feel passionate about.
Right. Okay. Right. Okay. Don't have any other questions for Janine at this point. So.
Okay. Well, so let's drop Janine. Sorry, Janine. But let's focus on Nasara, because Nasara is something that I have heard of a lot from many, many different people. I would like to probe Nasara as an entity.
Okay. So this is the National Economic Security and Recovery Act. It was proposed some economic reforms for the US, and it was suggested in the 1990s by a guy called Bernard, if I remember. Harvey Bernard, Francis Harvey, something. Bernard, I remember Bernard. So he wanted to replace income tax, which is a great idea, with a national sales tax, abolish compound interest, return to a bimetallic currency, which he said would result in 0% inflation. So you can understand the bankers won't be interested in that. The problem now is that it's become almost a cult, like almost a conspiracy theory, and almost cult like. Everybody's saying, I mean, Janine did, going back to Janine, she was one of the proponents, saying it was on its way, and there was going to be, the way it was described by not just Janine, but a lot of people actually, is that, everybody was going to have everything paid off and there was going to be free money everywhere, so I don't believe it. I don't see how it can possibly work. I mean, and it's never happened. So, it's been on the cards for the best part of 30 years, and it still hasn't happened. And yet people are saying, and this is not against Janine, but lots of people, way before Janine ever mentioned it, but a lot of people are saying, it's just round the corner and Trump was going to enact it, and then everybody, and it hasn't happened. I mean,
right. And that is something that I've probed on a frequent basis. George Duisman, the creator of CTT, which I do, he always talked about Nasara, and very positively so, right? So he would say, don't worry, Nasara is coming on Friday. No. So-and-so said it's coming on Friday. All debts are going to be relieved. I'm not going to pay my bills. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. And he's a firm believer in Nasara as well. The problem is that Friday came and Nasara never turned up. let me probe. Let's not have opinions about it. Let's ask Nasara. So I'm actually going to remove my opinions from this probe. And I don't feel one way or the other against Nasara. I think anything can be possible at some scale. What are you? What are you? A conscious mind construct. So Nasara is a conscious mind construct, an ideology, it's telling me. Will you ever come into play? I mean, it's very positive about its future. It's like, yes, eventually I will. They'll have no choice but to implement me. And I'm saying, but what do you mean we'll have no choice but to implement Lasara? Because he's saying when the world economy crashes, that will be Nasara.
Okay, well, a couple of questions. One, okay, put him out into the future 5 years and ask him.
Let's go. I'm going to move you out into the future. Okay, very happy to do that. September 15th, 2027, 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Okay, what would you like to ask Nasara?
Well, has it been enacted? Has the National Economic Security and Recovery Act been enacted in the US?
No, I'm still waiting.
Right. Okay. Let's go out 10 years. Let's go out another 5 years. Let's go out till September the 15th, 6 p.m., 2032.
Okay, so September 15th, 2032, wants to go 2045. Let's move it out to 2045. 2045, 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Have you been enacted? No, still waiting.
Okay, so that's 23 years time and it still hasn't happened. So, so 2045, 1992, that's 53 years we've been waiting for that one then.
Yeah.
Probably.
And Nasara, it has so much positive energy about it, right? Not knocking Nasara at all. It has so much positive energy. It's almost like if this would happen, I would be free. And so you have a lot of people clinging on to Nasara as hopium. And the problem with that is the fact that they're not doing anything to change their situation personally. They're reliant upon someone or something else to make that change for them. Do you see what I mean?
I do. And the problem here is that, yes, in a utopian world with nothing else, then yeah, enact Nasara, great. But the problem is that we have an existing system. And the people that run the existing system are not going to do most of the things, they're not going to abolish compound interest then on secured loan. They're not going to return to a bimetallic currency. They're not going to do half the things that, because unfortunately we live in a top-down pyramidical control-based society where people profit off of others. And this is a utopian ideology which just will never ever come into place. Never.
Right.
So people get free money and bail out. Okay, think about this, right? Everybody gets free money. Okay, and if you're in debt, so now you have no debts, and then you just get free money to live. Okay, well, where's the incentive to do any work? Who's going to produce the food, the cars, the aeroplane? Who's going to do anything? Nobody will. That's why it'll never happen. Cliff High called this out years ago. There have been so many people who are selling the false hope of Nasara and the global one, Gasara, as if there's going to be a global handout of money to everybody. I've heard it, the secret chests of gold and this, that, and the other, and secret vaults and all that. It's all nonsense. I mean, I don't believe any of it. It will never happen.
No,
So,
no, but it's nice to hope. It's nice to have hope, and it's nice to have dreams. Just as long as you don't organize your life completely based upon these possible hopes and dreams, then you're good. So it feels very positive, and she feels very positive. I don't believe she would intentionally say Nasara is coming if she knew that it wasn't coming, right? She puts out what she believes. So,
but yeah, I mean, she's read it. I've actually seen her on a video, actually reading through the tarot that is what was coming.
and okay, so let's get strategic about this, okay?
Oh, okay.
Here's the problem with tarot cards. Now, I've you know, I use remote viewing. And remote viewing, you direct the your target is where you want to pull your answer from. Okay? It's very, very concrete. You want to pull this answer about this particular situation, and this is where, it can come from. Or certainly that's how I use remote viewing. I want to find the target that will know the answer. When you are using tarot cards, okay, it's a tool for the matrix to connect with you. So somewhere in the universe, somebody's sending information down to those tarot cards, and you're getting your feelings in, right, about what they're saying to you through the cards. Who knows where that information is coming from? Now, does it mean that the information is wrong? No, but I'm just saying it's just very different. There's lots of different ways to answer a question. And you want to try, and remote viewers I'm speaking to, you want to try to answer that question as accurately as possible, which is why in remote viewing, they use double blind targets. Now, the question that I get asked all the time is, Liz, why do you not use double blind targets? Simply because as a natural psychic medium, I don't have any problem connecting to the correct target. Okay. So when you're doing long form remote view, where you have a double blind target, for me, and I'm not knocking any remote viewers out there, for me personally, it's too time consuming. I do not have hours upon hours to sit there going, okay, I see a bird. The bird is blue and it has legs, and its legs feel like this, and it has this, and it's sitting here, and it's hungry or it's thirsty, and it's blah, blah, blah. This will be one aspect of the target that you're viewing. Okay. That could take 45 minutes to get all the information from a bird that's sitting on a branch when you're viewing the White House. Do you see what I mean?
Absolutely. Yes, I do. Yes.
So, to me, that double blind technique, which is necessary for most people in the remote viewing world, to me, it's a complete waste of time. Now, that's because, and I'm not trying to blow my own trumpet here, I'm just being perfectly honest, that's because I don't have any problems connecting to the target. And that's why taking remote viewing teaches you all about where your strengths are. So your strength may be in the ideogram. Your strength may be in your perceptions, hearing, seeing, feeling, textures, colors, right? The sounds that you're picking up from that target. And you'll figure out where your strengths are and where your weaknesses are. As soon as I started learning remote viewing, I was doing the ideograms, I was doing the perception, and I'm like, this is a complete waste of my time, because I didn't have a problem hitting the target. Never. It was just too time consuming. I would rather, me personally, put out as much information as possible in a short amount of time, right? Because I don't have a lot of time. So that's the difference between using psychic medium skills combined with remote viewing than using a tool like a pendulum. A pendulum is the same thing. You're asking about something in particular, the information somewhere out there, right? Somewhere out there, you don't know where it's coming from. The information is coming, it's hitting your pendulum, and it's making it move a certain direction. Now, the problem with the pendulum is too many people are asking personal questions about their own lives. Will I be a billionaire? Yes or no? Right? And the pendulum is swinging yes. Why? Because it may not be picking up that information from the matrix. It actually formed an energy signal line right to your heart, which is, hell yeah, I can't wait to be a billionaire. So therefore, it's going to swing yes. You should never ask personal finance or life-related questions about your own life. You should never do that. You never do readings on your own life, ever, ever, ever. If you are pulling tarot cards on, let's just say, theta, okay, and you're heavily invested in theta, you've just skewed your reading right there. Your reading's finished. It's over. Okay. So these are the types of techniques, and people, a lot of times psychics and mediums, this is where they go wrong. And this is where, they're so hopeful about, I want this to happen. He's the one. I know he is. We've been out on 3 dates. He's the one. And you pull a card, whether he's the one, and you get this, golden glowing information coming back. Well, that's because that card has just formed a signal line to your heart. That's what you wanted to hear. So there's pitfalls in everything you do. And I'm not saying that my method is absolutely 100% correct, because as you learned today, Mr. Shakespeare, before we started videoing, we were experimenting with some tactics, different techniques to use. And you asked about 3 coins. You asked about Ethereum, Starlink, and UFO. And the target that we were using.
Hold on. No, it was UFO, Starlink, and Shiba.
I'm sorry, UFO, Starlink, and Shiba. And
hold on. Sorry. UFO, Starlink, and Lunar Classic. Sorry. Sorry.
We got there in the end. Yeah. Starlink, UFO, and Luna Classic, right?
Correct. Yeah.
And the first answer, or the first thing that you asked, is if I put $1,000 down on these coins right now, by the end of September, which one would make me more profit? Okay, this was an experiment we were running today, folks. We're not going to give you the answers because we don't know. We're testing it out. It's kind of like, as Mr. Shakespeare said, it's a horse race. Which horse comes in first? Which horse comes in second? Which horse comes in third? Okay, he's trying to find a way for all these crypto holders to recover your money. And we're working, and his brain is going, and he's trying to come up with lots of different proposals of how we do this. Right? And refine the technique that where it's a fail-safe technique, there's no problems. It's always going to be 100% accurate. So on the first instance, I think we got one of the answers. I'm not going to say what it is because everybody will throw the farm at that coin. And then you said, okay, take the money factor out and ask this particular target, which is the best of the 3 coins. And we got very different answers because, it liked Shiba Inu for its usability, and it liked, I think it was something because it liked the way the blockchain worked, right?
Ethereum, yeah.
Ethereum, right. So these 3 very different answers were based upon how accurate or how watertight is your question. And you have to make those questions watertight. You do. And you learned that today. I mean, you've always known that, but you've learned that today, and you saw how we got 3 very different answers from the first question to the next question. If you're just pulling cards, if you're just swinging your pendulum, if you are doing a remote view and you are terrible at connecting to the target, you have all these preconceived ideas, belief systems, right? And you're not doing it double blind, you've totally skewed your reading because you don't know where that signal line is being attached to. Similarly, if you are a tasker, your tasker knows the target, and the tasker gives the remote viewers the target and knows it. So say the tasker wants to know the price of gold. Why? Because the tasker has a secret interest in gold. They actually want to buy a load of gold and they want to hear that it's going to be great. And they're rubbing their hands together and they think it's fantastic. And they task a team of remote viewers to, will this, coordinate, blah, 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 be successful? Well, what's going to happen is that those taskers are going to form that signal line right back to those viewers are going to form their signal line right back to the tasker's mind and heart, right? This is why you have to have double blind targets. Now, somebody in my Discord recently was like, just do it the way I want you to do it, as if I'm very new to this and I've never done remote viewing in my life. And, and no fault of theirs. I mean, I like them very much, but I just don't do it that way because the long form remote view, I took remote viewing long enough to know where my strengths were and what I could dispose of, right? And people will argue, that's not remote viewing, but it is. Everything has to evolve, and that includes remote viewing as well. So you learn your strengths and you run with it, right? But you make sure that your information is correct. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
I lost him a long time ago. Wake up.
Oh yeah, I mean it's so true because we're doing a lot of work in the background that we're not recording because we are doing quite a few experiments. And the best way to do those is to do them, but not to record or release them, because at the end of the day, a lot of these experiments won't pan out, won't give us what we need. And it's the science of this. I mean, this is what science is all about in a way. You're supposed to experiment and do and see what works and see what doesn't work. So we are trying different things and different techniques. Not different techniques. The technique is the same. It's just we're approaching it from different angles. I would say that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So we're trying, folks. I mean, and I'm not criticizing or anybody else's work. They do what they can do and they do it the best that they can. And, not all my predictions are correct, right? Of course, nobody is correct 100% of the time. But as for Janine, the tarot card reader, I will probably watch one of her videos now because I really enjoyed her energy. I thought she's very positive. She seems very sincere and genuine. So, check her out. If you want to book a reading with me, please go to psychiclizcross.com. Any last words from you, Mr. Shakespeare?
No, I think we've covered most of it. No,
great. That's great. Well, thank you very much. And thanks everyone for listening.